In episode number 220, we cover Pokemon Go's latest update, making it easier for players to track down Pokemon.
We also have some more news, a new trailer on the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite game.
We've got a movie review this week with Arrival.
And we also have our review of the Batman Annual #1.
All of this and more on today's show. Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke every week, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Daniel.
And I am your Epotus Pelpa Kelli, a.k.a. Kelly.
So I had a pretty productive week.
Yeah.
Did not struggle in getting one of the latest amiibo for Nintendo.
Finally. Those things are like gold.
Well, they were. I don't know if they're as hard to find anymore. But Nintendo seems to be producing more because I was able to, with no problem, pre-order one of these 2 weeks ahead of launch. And it was the 8-bit Link amiibo.
Cool.
Have you not seen it?
No.
Let me show you a quick picture. I took one here that I'm going to post on Twitter and Facebook. But
he is kind of cool. Why is he holding the Bible?
It's a shield with the Christian cross on it.
It's a Bible.
It's not the Bible. It's a shield.
That is 8-bit Jehovah Witness thing.
But it goes perfectly with my 8-bit Mario.
Uh-huh.
That is on display next to the rest of our amiibos, which actually AtCube and Slim helped us get, the 8-bit Mario. Mm-hmm. And I just hope they do way more of these 8-bit. Let's do 8-bit Samus. Fuck it. 8-bit Donkey Kong, 8-bit Star Fox, the whole team in 8-bit. It was never an 8-bit, but just do it all.
Just do it. 8-bit
just the way
Pikachu.
It translates. Yeah. The way it translates into 3D works really well. And actually, they could even use the 8-bit designs from Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Maker. Whenever you input a Pikachu amiibo onto your base, it will give you an 8-bit Pikachu
amazing.
that you can play as. So take those designs, put them in 3D.
Do it. Why not?
Do it. It was awesome. That's one of my favorite pickups and purchases this week.
I purchased groceries and holiday presents for other people. That's a lie. I bought myself new running shoes.
I also picked up a new fascination.
A new way to troll, you mean?
It's not because I'm actually legitimately, it's like half trolling, but I'm legitimately curious about how this is all working. As we're leading up to Star Wars Rogue One's release, I'm picking up other Star Wars books and reading them. So I've gone through Darth Vader volumes 1 and 2 from the Marvel run. So this is less than 2 years old now. And I've gone through all of them. My manager is a big Star Wars fanatic. He's going to see Rogue One at 7 o'clock and at 10:20 p.m. the night of release. And then I work with other people who are huge on Star Wars. I know a lot of Broquettes, John72 Tex. He's one of our Patreon backers. He's big on Star Wars. And I'm asking them about midichlorians.
Okay.
Do you know, are you familiar with midichlorians?
I do know what midichlorians are.
Well, to any listeners that know even less about Star Wars than I do, they are, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, some Star Wars fan is going to correct a tiny detail that I missed. They are organisms that are symbiotic with humans, and they can help the host harness the Force, and they are what people use to get the Force. And people are born with different amounts. Some have more midichlorians, some have less, and that makes them stronger Force users. And that was all introduced in the prequels, whereas in the original trilogy, it was less, the Force was more mysterious, and that's something that my manager explained to me as well. But in the prequels, they knew, okay, midichlorians, this is what we use. We've got a reader that you can take someone's blood and measure the midichlorians in your body through that reader, and that would tell you how strong you are or how accessible you are with the Force. So I got stuck on that. Like, I've known about midichlorians before, but I've seen tweets of people like, forget about midichlorians. It's like, well, hold on. It's still a part of canon. So as much as they want to ignore it and not talk about it, it's a thing. And one of my workers said, well, in this book over here, they said that they used to think that midichlorians were how. I'm like, no, let's not look at the novels. Let's look at the movies, all right? And I started asking about midichlorians, much to the dismay of my Star Wars friends. But I was asking things like, so does Darth Vader lose midichlorians when he lost his limbs? Does he have less? And I got a couple of different answers, like, well, no, they reproduce more. And others say, well, yeah, he's a weaker Force user than if he had all his limbs because he can't use the Force through a robotic hand. And I've just been exclusively asking about midichlorians and learning as much as I can about midichlorians. That way, when I see Rogue One, I can say, "Oh, her midichlorian count must be pretty high," or maybe
Okay, so you're learning about these things, so you control these people.
No, I'm not, because I'm legitimately curious about it. It's just a bonus that it bugs some people. Mm-hmm. That's all. It's
You're
just a
legitimately
bonus.
curious because it bugs people. Let's not even kid ourselves.
And on top of that, I discovered that Darth Vader, the current series, which I went straight into Darth Vader. I did not read Star Wars from Marvel Disney. I instead read Darth because from all of the comic readers at my comic shop, they all say that Darth Vader is the better Star Wars book. It is the best of the Marvel Star Wars books. So I said, all right, I'll read volumes 1 and 2.
Start with the best, yeah.
And reading Darth Vader, I found that he is a jealous girlfriend. He is the most jealous of girlfriends with the Emperor. The whole time in Volume 1, he's trying to impress the Emperor, and we find out that Palpatine has been looking for a new Sith Lord, a new Sith apprentice. Vader finds out about this, ends up getting rid of the other alleged apprentice that he was bringing on, just to show him and say, "You were trying to replace me." And all to have Palpatine say, "Yes, and I picked the right one because you killed him." And Vader immediately fell right back in love with the Emperor, like everything was still okay. The Emperor Palpatine is the worst. He's just an abusive boyfriend. And Vader is the jealous girlfriend that can never... He's the Harley Quinn of the Star Wars universe. And Palpatine is the Joker.
Let's not. They're better, okay? Harley Quinn and Joker are better.
I don't know. I find it's funnier to me that Vader is in that position.
He needs to have, like, he goes out to the bar with his friends and they're like, "You can do better than him. You could be your own Sith Lord."
and that's all this. And as far as Vader and his dialogue, I probably couldn't write Vader any better than this. But all his lines are just threats and confirmations. It's just before the page turn, it's, "Well, you better not fail me, or you will regret it." And it's just him threatening people the entire book, all of the other books.
Good for him.
So I'm like, that's all he says, and that's all he does. I'm waiting to see where the huge character development, why people love this guy so much.
Nope.
And that's something that my Star Wars friends have said is, there's so much to Vader. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm waiting for it. But I have gotten good stuff out of it. It's the jealous girlfriend with Palpatine, and that's why I'm going to read Volume 3. And I'm going to also get Volume 4 eventually.
So listening to this story, I have come up with the Star Wars name for you. Because I'm Kelli.
Okay.
So you can
Can't
choose.
Wait. Yes.
You can either be Dan Vader or Darth VadeDaniel.
I am definitely... Can I change it to VadeDaniel?
Okay, you could
Darth
be
VadeDaniel.
So Emperor Kelli and Darth VadeDaniel.
There it is. I love it. It's perfect. It fits with the love stories and the relationship. Yes. Darth VadeDaniel. Fuck, that is good. Only from someone that could come up with Kelli.
Kelli. I mean, Kelli just, like, it happened. It just, I just woke up one day and boom, Kelli. I'm an emperor. I'm your EPOTUS.
I think that's the name of the episode, Darth VadeDaniel.
Darth VadeDaniel. Now you gotta, like, talk through all the shows, like...
That'd be so hard.
Yeah, it would.
Maybe when I'm 80.
We've already fixed the static issues, and now I'm asking you.
Allegedly.
Maybe.
Thought I'd fixed it 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago, and then it came up 2 episodes ago. Well, the wire has been changed, so one big portion, most of our setup has been replaced.
Yes.
So last week it went well. Hopefully this week it goes perfectly too.
I mean, I'm here, so it's always perfect. Whoa!
So on to our first bit of news, and that is on the mobile side. For all you Android and iDevice users, we've got Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm. After months of testing, Pokemon Go's new Pokemon tracker is now available fucking finally.
While this update isn't as accurate as the previous third-party finder, it is better than the footprints from the app's launch.
The footprints never even worked.
That didn't even work.
Players can now track by going to Pokestops pictured next to the Pokemon. So it'll pop up, it'll show you the Pokemon available, you click on them, and it says what Pokestop they are nearby.
While this is mainly ideal for areas with plenty of Pokestops like cities, it's still a significant update that players are now enjoying.
Oh, absolutely. I always hated when I'd be someplace and it's like, there's a Magmar nearby, and I'm like, shit, I need that Magmar. And then you walk around and you can never find him.
You got to use the new Pokemon Go update today. Was it at all helpful? I mean, you used it in an area that we're very familiar with.
Right. I think it was because when it, popped up, it's near this Pokestop. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where that is. But then, like, I was driving somewhere, so of course I didn't use it. But I think that it will be helpful, particularly when we go to the local theme parks. Because you know where everything is, and the Pokestop pops up, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's over there. To actually be able to find those things. Because as soon as you step into the park, it lets you know there's Pokemon everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But, you make a right turn instead of a left, and now the Pokemon's gone.
Is this going to be enough for all of the players that whined about the Pokefinder? Nope. Is this still a helpful enough update that players will use and maybe they can come back to the app with?
They will use it. The thing that I've seen is this isn't as big as it was when it started.
Well, of course.
Of course. And some of that is people got frustrated because they couldn't find the Pokemon. Some of that is it's just kind of lost its steam. I have coworkers, Vicky, who just doesn't play it anymore. And Vicky never cared about using whatever to find the Pokemon. She just liked to go around and find them. But as it wears off, as people talk about it less, do I think some people will come back? Yes, I would like to play it more now because I think I could actually find them if I were looking for them. But is it going to be an everyday thing like it was before? Probably not.
The latest bit of news on Pokemon Go is that they are going to introduce the next generation of Pocket Monsters with Gold and Silver. Mm-hmm. That, I think, is going to be what brings back a huge chunk of people. Because it's going to seem like a newer game again to them. And them putting in the minor updates is probably smarter than when they introduced the big thing, which is going to bring back players. If they were to do the Pokemon first and then do an app with the update with the Pokefinder, it would not be as effective than if they have all of that on, say, day one of Generation 2. Mm-hmm.
I agree. They will get some people back with that, the added Pokemon because everybody's going to try and catch them again. I'm still trying to catch the first set.
Yeah, I am maybe a third of the way done with them. I still haven't caught a coughing, and everyone has a coughing.
No, I have a coughing and a wheezing.
Everyone has a fucking coughing and a wheezing.
Yeah,
I've also been focusing on catching, or actually powering up my Vaporeon and my Jolteon, and trying to get more Eevees.
You know what I've been focusing on powering up? My Gyarados. Motherfucking Gyarados.
What kills me about you powering this Gyarados, and it's getting stronger than my Vaporeon even, is that you don't plan on ever fighting any gyms. You're just powering up a Gyarados for no reason.
He'll protect me on the street or something.
Maybe they'll do the fourth elusive gym of the Lugia.
Listen, if they bring out this Lugia gym, I'm all about that life. Like, all about unity and shit.
Team Unity?
Yeah. That would be me. For Brokettes who don't know, I still have not picked a team. If I were to be a team, it would be Instinct because I'm a Hufflepuff and I believe all in the instincty things. But I don't like the discrimination and the fighting and no. So I just didn't pick one. So I can't fight in any gyms ever. I got this strong ass Gyarados. He just like hangs out and he's like, hey. And I'm like, hey, he is so strong that they won't let me power him up anymore because my level is not high enough.
That's pretty awesome. And it takes forever. We're on level 23. And the experience points to that.
Like 21.
Maybe we're 21. I think we're in the same level. You're maybe one higher than me, and it's just taking a long time. But we're also not playing every day. That's the other thing.
I mean, I wish I had time to play it every day.
One of my coworkers, he plays all the time, every day. He took advantage of the double XP week or weekend that they did recently. And he's constantly threatening to quit the game over not being able to get Pokestops on the drive to work. He's not driving, obviously. He Ubers. And some of the other minor glitches and lack of updates in Pokemon Go. And I see him constantly threatening to stop, but I always point out, one, it's a free app. Like, how much can you really whine about the app? Like, if this cost us $10, by all means, complain about it. But for what you get, for it being free, it's good enough. It's more than good enough. Two, he's not. You're not going to quit. He's not going to quit.
No, of course not.
He's going to keep playing. He's going to keep playing when they bring out the new generation. There'll be the next big app, and it's all about Pokemon though. The fact that they have those little monsters, that skin, it could be any other game, but the fact that it's Pokemon, that's going to get him in. And the other thing that he was also complaining about is the threat of corporations making their places gyms. So the big one that there was a huge rumor that Starbucks, all the Starbuckses were going to be gyms or Pokestops. And then they were going to have like a Pokemon Go drink that you can go in and buy, and it's exclusive, and they call it the Pokemon Go Frappuccino. And I think it ended up being bullshit, but you can see that there's going to be deals made.
I would have called it the Pokemon Go Pacino.
Jeez. Why don't they hire you for
Why
this
don't
stuff?
people hire me? I'm the best. All the time at work, we'll be talking about things, and I'm like, we should call it this. And my boss always stops, and he's like, that's a great idea. And then he starts, like, texting people. I'm like...
You should start holding on to some of those and selling them.
Nah, nobody wants to buy them.
So that was the other thing that he said, and I said, well, most Starbucks are already Pokestops or Pokemon gyms. Yeah. And he says, well, they're promoting Pokemon Go, and then, hey, come in and buy a $9 drink. And I said, you don't have to buy the $9 drink.
They're $5, sir.
You could just stop in, get your Pokemon gym, and take it over and leave. You don't even have to go inside even. Mm-hmm. Just walk by it. They have benches outside. They have tables outside.
Sit in your car.
And on top of that, I let them know there's already Starbucks wherever you go and play anyway. Those things are all over the place. So this is a nothing difference. All this is doing is giving you more Pokemon gyms and Pokemon stops to access, and a optional drink that you can maybe get if you're a Starbucks person, which you are.
I am a total
most
Starbucks
of the US
person.
is.
I'm trying to cut back on my Starbucks intake. They're about to open a Wawa by us, and I'm all about that Wawa life when that opens up. But I do like eggnog frappuccinos. That's one of your favorites.
Love it. Yep.
If you guys haven't tried it, peppermint white mocha, hot or cold. Mm-hmm. Love that bitch. Marble mocha macchiato. Oh, you guys gotta like jump on that.
And we're not sponsored by Starbucks. No, just a heads up.
I love me some. Well, like in high school, it was a cool thing to do. Like go hang out in Starbucks when you had expendable income. And then it turned out that I am a coffee addict, which is horrible because like now I'm trying to cut back on coffee because I drink too much and use less sugar in my coffee. It's terrible.
You'll get there. You will get there.
Someday. But you saw me yesterday. I didn't have coffee all day, and I had, like, a migraine by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then even after I drank coffee, like, it halved, maybe, like, 3/4 cut down my headache, but it was still there because my body's like, nope, fuck now.
Addiction.
Yeah. It's horrible.
More Pokemon news. More evidence that not only has Pokemon returned, which it never went away, it's just strong again.
'Cause now it's stronger than you. I'm sorry.
What's that from?
Britney Spears. You don't remember Stronger?
No, I don't.
Oh, stop it. You don't know Stronger?
I don't know Stronger. If you want, you can show me later, but I don't know if I'm going to like it.
You probably won't, but it's Britney Spears. And I love me some Britney.
Pokemon Sun and Moon have become, get ready for this, Kelly.
Yep.
The fastest selling games in Nintendo history in North and South America.
Well, duh.
That's a huge record to break. It's not a it's Pokemon Sun and Moon. This isn't a remake of Pokemon Blue and Red. This isn't the latest Mario game. It's the, 7th generation of Pokemon.
Okay, but here's the thing. What do they do different with this game than they have done with the others?
The main difference, aside from having a new set of Pokemon, is that there's a new island and the gyms are a little bit... They reskinned the gyms. No, that's the main difference.
Stop. No. They marketed the hell out of those old Pokemon. Marketed the hell out of them in that game.
Because of the Alola forms?
Yeah, every trailer you ever saw. Look at this Grimer, look at this Diglett, look at this Pikachu. Can I tell you my whole game, except for my Dartrix, is all old Pokemon. And I'm in love with it.
But the Gen 1ers don't like the new Pokemon. They don't like that they're changing the old ones.
Okay, but my Machop is normal. My Ghastly's normal.
They weren't marketing those, though.
So? They're normal.
You get them early in the game, but they weren't marketing... The real answer on why this sold so quickly is because of Pokemon Go. And that's not even a
Okay, that
Game
was my
Freak.
second answer. Right?
It's not even a Nintendo thing. It's just they benefited huge on this. Because Pokemon Go came out, it got Pokemon back in everyone's minds. Since X and Y, it's the most that Pokemon has been on people's minds.
But they also still marketed the hell out of the old ones. Like, that's why I was more excited for this one than I was for the other ones. Because I knew I could have, my old team.
Sure, but you're not a Gen 1er either.
I'm, halfway to Gen 1er. Let's be realistic.
You play the new games.
I like Gen 2, also. That's about
so
where
you're definitely not a Gen 1er.
That's where my love for it stops. After Gold and Silver, I'm like, I'll just catch the old Pokemon.
Oh, see, I thought you wanted to mimic you. I was under the impression that you wanted to mimic you.
I do.
But that's one of the new ones, and you like the first two generations.
Do you like me doing your laundry?
I'm just pointing out something.
Do you like dinner on the
I'm
table?
just pointing out something.
Breakfast? Cookie breakfast most days.
Am I not supposed to point out mistakes?
No.
Contradictions? They can't.
That's husband rule 101. Don't point out your wife's mistakes.
Do you know who you married? I'm the guy that points out everything wrong usually.
I know. Do you realize that you're married? That's husband rule number 1.
So how much? Tell the Brokettes how much money they fucking made. How many titles got sold?
A fuck ton.
I mean, that might as well be it. A fuck ton, dude.
So the 2 titles sold 3.7 million units in less than 2 weeks. How many is that a day?
3.7 million.
How many?
3.7 million times...
Divided by
$40.
14.
That's $40 per unit. I mean, they're not making all of that, so say half of that.
Wait.
$20. When I worked at GameStop, they made less than half the amount of the product that they sold.
That's 3.7 million, right?
Yes, that's 3.7.
Okay. That was,
let's say $20 per unit.
I'm figuring out how many units they sold a day.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the price. So they sold 265,285.7 a day. So, I mean, we'll just round up like 300,000 units a day.
In the Americas.
Yeah.
Not even the whole world.
That's
in the
crazy.
Americas.
Okay, so we're saying they're $20 a piece. That's $74 million.
Man. Nintendo's in trouble, guys. Nintendo's in trouble. They're in trouble. The Switch is going to be the end of them.
$5 million a day for 2 weeks.
That's almost Disney money for an afternoon.
No.
Almost.
No, not even close. But good try.
These were also the most pre-ordered video games for the company. More than Ocarina of Time, more than Twilight Princess, more than the previous Pokemon games.
So we want to talk actual numbers. This is what hits it home for me. This would account for an 85% increase over its previous record holder, Pokemon X and Y, back in 2013.
Okay, if I had known X and Y was the previous record holder, which we probably reported on, and I forgot about it, maybe I wouldn't find this as unbelievable. But 85%.
85%.
That is disgusting.
Disgustingly awesome.
We have a quote here from the very appropriately named Doug Bowser.
He changed his name. There's no way he did not change his name.
No, when he got hired, he said, no, it's just a huge coincidence that I happen to work here.
It.
Doug Bowser is Nintendo of America's Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing. And maybe they found the guy that's like, this guy's name is Bowser. Let's just get him on the company. And he's like, huh? What? And just by constant mistakes and dumb luck, he ended up...
Is he a ginger?
I don't know. That would be perfect, though. So his quote here reads...
With these huge sales figures, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon have proven themselves as 2 of the hottest video games to buy this holiday season. With great reviews and outstanding fan response, these next iterations of the Pokemon series are sure to please any player in the family. End quote.
In his quote, he's still trying to sell it. Like, this holiday season, you guys can still buy it. Perfect for everyone. Just
everyone in your family.
Everyone
All of them. Just the dog, yes.
This is why he's VP, Senior Vice President. Just sells it anytime he can. Perfect salesman. That's how you do it. Since Pokemon's launch with Red and Blue back in 1996, all Pokemon-related software has sold more than 280 million units worldwide.
Half of those sales have come from you and I.
I wish. Good on Game Freak. Good on the Pokemon Company. Good on Nintendo for owning most of Game Freak. Good on the Niantic Company, because that's going to help them out with Pokemon Go. It's not going anywhere. 20 years later, and Pokemon is selling the fastest selling Pokemon game.
Amazing. So you are pretty far in Pokemon Sun.
Third Island.
That's pretty far. I think that's pretty far.
It
so
is.
How are you enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it a lot. It's not my favorite game in the franchise. I still think X and Y edges out Pokemon Sun and Moon, but this is still an awesome experience. The visuals are the best that they've ever been. The battles are more accessible than ever as well, with teaching you what's super effective, what's not super effective. And the key here is they don't tell you what's effective until after you've seen that Pokemon and battled it once. So there's a bit of a trade-off, and it's fair. The Pokemon refresh system is great. I love that in X and Y. The fact that they brought back that you can change your character's look, that's excellent too. The story itself isn't the strongest either. It's not as good as some of the older Pokemon games, or in X and Y, or even with characters such as N. But they're still not bad characters, and it's still not a bad story. The villains are kind of weaker, but they're funny at the same time. They're like a weaker Team Rocket. They're like a funnier, goofier Team Rocket.
They're like a teen Rocket.
You are on top of it with these names.
Boom!
Teen Rocket.
That's what I'm going to call him.
I'm enjoying the game. I'm liking it. What about you?
I am enjoying it. There's still way too many cutscenes for my liking. Like, just let me play. I still hated Pokemon School with a passion. I mean, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I didn't realize, so I caught a Pichu, like, pretty early on. And then I'm researching, like, how the fuck do I make my Pichu evolve? Because I've never owned a Pichu, because, like, fuck Pichu. I just
Not even in Gold and Silver?
No, I just wanted a Pikachu. Like, forget Pichu. And then I'm reading, and people are like, oh, if you get a Pichu, you're really lucky. There's a 5% chance you're going to run into it. I'm like, oh, shit, I just walked in the grass, and he popped up, and I was like, I guess I'll catch him. So my team right now, I have my Pichu, who's going to be Pikachu. I haven't decided if he's going to be a Raichu yet. I have my Machop. I have my Ghastly. I have a Kadabra, who still hasn't learned anything. Oh, no, he just learned Psybeam. Good for him.
That's a good one, yep.
And I have my Dartrix. And what's my last one? Oh, shoot. You always know my thing better than I do.
I haven't checked your team in a while.
Oh, man. Okay.
Is it Growlithe? There you go.
Growlithe is my last one. But now we're coming up on more cooler Pokemon, because I'm going to run into that Vulpix eventually. I'm going to want him.
It's in the same island I'm at,
yes.
So it's in the third one.
There's a Mimikyu running around. I'm going to want him, so it's like, can I just have like a team of 10?
I know. That's going to be the next thing. They're going to bump it up to 8.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's what they're going to end up doing.
But overall, I'm enjoying it. It's much, much easier than the other games. Like, you have a Pokestop on every corner. What happened to the years of, like, oh, now I gotta walk all the way back to that stupid town?
You mean a Pokemon Center?
Yeah, that one.
There's also people that heal you randomly.
Yeah, like
it's
that
super
Moo-Cow.
Convenient.
Yeah, before you fight your rival, he's like, oh, let me heal your Pokemon. And I'm like, no!
What kind of rival are you?
You're not a rival. You're just my buddy. You're probably losing on purpose, too. I still think Kukui's sleeping with my mom. Because he was like, no, I'll tell her you're leaving. It's fine. Just go.
Get out of here, kid.
Yeah.
My dick is dry. It needs a change.
He keeps calling me cousin. I'm like, you're not my cousin.
It's a Hawaiian thing.
Mm-hmm. Just trying to bone my mom. And then my mom's like real hipster too. So I'm like, yeah, she's sleeping with Kukui.
Nintendo isn't the only company, though, breaking the video game news this week. As we said last week, there was an announcement for an announcement.
For announcements.
Of what we then called Marvel vs. Capcom 4. Well, we now, though, know that it is titled Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and it was revealed as announced at the PlayStation Experience.
Here's the big one. Let's settle this.
So a little bit of history. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out in 2011 on the Xbox 360 and the PS3.
So about 5 years between games. By the time it comes out in 2017, almost 6 years, but I think it came out in mid-2011. I think it's fine. There's enough people interested. They didn't wait as long as when we waited for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But the new video was released. This one showcased Captain Marvel, Ryu, Morgan, Iron Man, and Mega Man, as well as Captain America, through a video of gameplay and cinematic trailers, and there was 2 of them.
As the name implies, the story and the mechanics will focus around Thanos' Infinity Stones. I was going to say Infinite Stones, because it's called, but his Infinity Stones.
Many take this as confirmation that Marvel/Disney pushed for a greater focus on its existing and upcoming movie properties.
Duh.
It's completely true. We're going to get less X-Men. There's probably going to be cut X-Men. Mm-hmm. We're not going to get any new members of the Fantastic Four. Nope. I'd be shocked if Dr. Doom was in this at all. And the fact that Iron Man and Captain Marvel were the 2 big ones that they showcased tells me, yes, here we're going to have Captain Marvel just on the horizon of coming out in one of these films. Mm-hmm. Players need to get familiar with them. Don't use characters we don't own or are planning on using in the movies. And throw in the Infinity Stones. Make the Infinity Stones a part of the gameplay in some way. Capcom did. You get different Infinity Stones. You get the Power Gem, and it's a power-up.
Yeah, but Devil's Advocate, the game looks pretty cool. I'm not one for fighting games, but it looks cool.
I'll tell you what. I played many hours of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 online, too, and I wasn't the best, but I won more than I lost. And that's saying a lot for online gaming, so I was pretty decent. Having that eye of, okay, I remember very well what Marvel vs. Capcom 3 moved like, played like. This uses the same engine. And it looks like they just took Marvel vs. Capcom 3, reskinned it, and improved it, made it a little bit sharper. Maybe even the controls are going to be tighter. But we're getting an improved version of Marvel's Capcom 3, but with all new characters. And I'm completely okay with that. If the online is even better improved, because sometimes you did get that better improved. I don't even, it's like a double positive, essentially.
Better improved, more improved?
More improved.
There you go. If
the internet gameplay on it is improved on top of that, and it's tighter and it's quicker, because there was some lagging when I used to play, my $60 are going to be well spent. And I bought all the DLC. I know Capcom's going to hold out on character skins. I'm okay with that. If I'm enjoying a game, I will gladly support the DLC. I don't care that it's already on the disc and you buy a code to unlock it. If they have earned the extra $10 or the extra $3 or whatever they charge, then so be it. You can have it. Same goes with Mass Effect. Same goes with the Arkham games. If we're getting more than $60 worth of entertainment and story and we get to talk about it here on the podcast with all of you every week, it's worth it to me.
Speaking of Mass Effect.
Yes. I don't care that you call it that. I'm so happy for this.
The Game Awards last week gave us our first look at actual gameplay from Mass Effect Andromeda.
What brings a Pathfinder to our humble port?
Van Terev. Name ring any bells?
What's he to you? And don't lie to me.
Just point me to where you're holding him and there won't be any trouble.
There won't be.
Drop it! Now! You first. Get out.
You had come up with a new name. It was a mix-up name with Andromeda, and I'm glad you called it the right name this time.
I'm gonna have to think of another one. Like, I'm on a roll with names, but I don't want to knock myself down now.
Andromeda takes place 100 years after the first Mass Effect title, as players search the universe for a planet that's habitable for humans.
Okay.
This is another one.
Don't care.
That I knew the gameplay so well from Mass Effect 2 and 3 and 1.
Yeah, because you're just walking around sleeping with ladies.
Build up my relationships.
Sleeping with ladies.
Helps you get more XP. Helps you when you're
ladies sleeping with ladies.
Get bonuses.
Sleeping with ladies.
There were early rumors when they first announced Andromeda that this was going to be a first-person shooter, which got me worried because I know the original storyteller is no longer with the company. Some of the bigwigs from the original Mass Effect games are no longer with EA or BioWare. But seeing now Mass Effect Andromeda, seeing actual gameplay, this is Mass Effect 3 again. And this is the same case as Marvel's Capcom Infinite, where they took the same engine again. They took the multiplayer from Mass Effect 3 and incorporated it a little bit more into the story, but it looks gorgeous. I mean, this game looks beautiful, which is saying a lot for these space games because there's a lot of work that has to go into making a sci-fi game look good. I would say more than any regular video game. Yes, there's cities that have to look more, but those are way more familiar to us. Now you can kind of take pictures of Chicago, New York, and kind of try to emulate that in your game. But to create something new, a space station, and you have to have the imagination to make a space station that is functional but also gorgeous to look at for the player. Mm-hmm. And so far, Mass Effect Andromeda gives us all of that. It's got the graphical power. Sure, it'll look better on PC. I've still been a console gamer. But the gameplay itself looks like Mass Effect 3. You have your different power-ups. The dialogue between the different characters still looks kind of robotic and weird. So I know they didn't change the engine on it, but I'm fucking excited. I pre-ordered the deluxe edition, which is $10 more. You get more costumes, you get extra weapons, you get packs online, and you get like the special packaging. And I am all in on Andromeda.
So when do I get to say goodbye to you and lose my husband forever?
Every time a Mass Effect game comes out. Every time.
It's horrible. I'll talk to you and you're playing, and then like 5 minutes later you go, huh? And I probably already left the room and you didn't even notice. You know, I'll just exercise more or something. Get in some shape. When you're done with that game, I'll have like 6 packs and I'll be like real burly like the Hulk or something. And you'll be like, how'd that happen? You're fucking playing your game.
Do you remember how pissed off players were at the ending?
Yes.
I'm seeing a bunch of comments on YouTube saying, I don't care about this new game. You guys fuck the ending to Mass Effect 3. You're going to give us another shitty ending with this new game.
Until it comes out and then they're buying it.
Is that what you think they're going to jump right back?
Of course they are.
Is this DC Rebirth again?
Yes.
Where all the old DC guys are like, I'm done with DC. Oh, I'm coming back for Rebirth. Yep. I'm glad they changed it.
Yep.
They enjoyed Mass Effect. Even the people that I know that didn't like the ending, I asked them the same thing. Okay, so 99% of the game was amazing and you didn't like the ending. Well, yeah. No one thinks it like that. Put it in that perspective, because $60 each time and you enjoyed 99% of it. which you got more than $60 worth with Mass Effect because that's that kind of game. It's super long. You can put in extra hours and not beat the story even. That's the kind of game it is. You're going to get your dollars worth. And to me, an ending will not ruin that 99% the hours that I played. I don't take it that way. I don't view it that way.
No, I think that's the wrong outlook, Dan. They messed it up for you. You should just not get this one.
They didn't mess it up for me. I didn't care about the ending. I was fine with it. I'm like,
no,
okay,
no,
awesome.
You cared. You cared. I see it in your voice. You don't have to lie to anybody. We're not sponsored by Mass Effect.
Since I'm going to be playing so much Mass Effect next year, I'm sorry to announce, and Brokeheads are going to hear it here first, I had to push back my Aquaman movie from July to October 5th, 2018.
That's a pretty far pushback. That's a lot of Mass Effect that you're going to be playing. I think that you should not do that to fans and just not play Mass Effect.
I think the true fans would be willing to wait for the Aquaman movie. True fans will be okay with it. They know how much I like Mass Effect that they're going to say, okay, Daniel, play Mass Effect. Be happy. Enjoy yourself. We can wait for the Aquaman movie.
It's not just because they have more filming and rewrites to do. Or Momoa was drunk the whole time.
Always on Guinness. He's always drinking every time on Instagram.
Guinness is gross.
He loves it.
Beer's pretty gross. But I am a first-level certified Cicerone, for those of you who didn't know. I know lots of things about beer. I just do not like to drink it.
What is your favorite beer?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, there are some that I enjoy. I like Blue Moon. I like Belgian wheats mostly. So any Belgian wheat I can enjoy. It just takes me a long time to drink one. I'm kind of a fan of milk stouts too.
Yeah, I think we have for the most part, we have the same taste.
Mm-hmm. I don't like IPAs though.
Works out.
You drink IPAs sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like IPAs. Nope.
On the complete opposite side with Disney and Marvel, a second teaser trailer debuted for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I have 2 words for this teaser trailer.
Fuck, you fucking nailed me. Go ahead.
Baby Groot. Baby Groot. Baby Groot. Baby Groot. Baby Groot. A baby Groot.
Whatever. It's
don't whatever me. I am right so little in this relationship.
What happened is they said, well, most people are just calling it Baby Groot.
Nope.
I guess it's
okay,
Baby Groot.
So here's my thing. If you take a plant and you replant it, is that a baby plant or is that just the older plant made smaller?
It's the older plant replicating itself.
Becoming a baby again so it can grow into an adult. Baby Groot.
That's fucking Baby Groot.
Yes! Baby Groot! Baby Groot!
And it's also because the intelligence seemed to have gone down on Groot, so fine.
He's a baby.
It's fucking Baby Groot.
Baby Groot. And I called the winner on Ink Master too. I was right about that also.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 releases on Cinco de Mayo 2017.
With a Baby Groot.
What'd you think of the trailer? Better than the first teaser?
I mean, it was a teaser. But here's my thing. These teaser trailers are like 2 minutes long, so how long is their real trailer? Like, teaser trailers should be 30 seconds.
What they used to be. Yeah. I mean, the real trailers and teaser trailers are about the same now.
Is like the real trailer like the full movie?
Some would argue yes, and that's why we tell you, don't see trailers 6 months before release.
I mean, it got me interested in going to see the movie, which I think was the point of it, especially with that last scene and Baby Groot.
Yeah, we're going to see it.
Of course we are.
Trailers from here on out aren't, they're not selling it to us. We're going to go see it. We like Guardians of the Galaxy 1, so why not see Volume 2 with the same exact, still James Gunn in the director's seat.
Speaking of Marvel movies, my dad saw Deadpool recently.
Oh yeah? What do you think?
He sat there, he goes, I was just sitting there on the couch, and he goes, did you see Deadpool? Yeah, Dad. What'd you think of it? I mean, I enjoyed it. There were parts I laughed at. It was very true to the character, I felt. And he goes, can't decide if I like it or not.
He might not.
I don't know. He didn't decide. It wasn't what he was expecting, but he didn't know anything about Deadpool. He was just like, oh, Marvel movie. I'm like, nah.
Not really.
Not really. So we did get another announcement to an announcement. I'm calling this Announceception. At Brazil's CCXP convention, Sony Pictures showed a new clip for Spider-Man Homecoming.
While the footage had not been shown to the public, attendees described Spider-Man's costume with an upgrade, web wings.
Web wings! So since then, Marvel Entertainment has released the first teaser to Spider-Man Homecoming.
Web wings are fucking huge. I'm not a massive Spider-Man fan. We like Miles Morales as Spider-Man more than Peter Parker, but this got me excited as a non-Spider-Man fan, because it's not like on the same level as Batman or anything. the fact that I'm excited, all the people that grew up, like they're collecting the older Spider-Man issues, they must be on, just their
thrilled.
excitement must be through the roof on them,
They're
and
just
good
like,
on them.
Oh, just like coming all over the place.
I mean,
Creating web wings of their own. I'm cracking myself up tonight. Shit.
their own web shooters.
Gross.
They brought back the web wings. That is fucking massive. That is so cool that you get to see the classiest, almost the classiest version of Spider-Man ever. I mean, it's not...
Classiest? Does he come out with like a martini and like a tuxedo?
Would the word be classicest?
Oh.
I don't know. It's not classicest.
The most classic.
Fine.
Classiest? No, classiest is like champagne and shit.
Maybe it's Tony Stark made them.
Did
it's
he
made
make
by a
them
rich guy.
out of champagne?
I'm sure. Well, I don't know. Maybe. You haven't seen the movie. Could be. Maybe I'm still right.
No.
Nah.
No.
No, you're right. What do you think of the web wings?
They were cool. I was like, yep, they're there. Cool. I don't follow Spider-Man a lot. So I started reading with Miles Morales. I did read when Otto Octavius was Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Superior?
Yep, Superior Spider-Man, which was really cool. But if this is something that resonates with fans, I'm very glad that they put it in there because now it's getting them excited for it.
The underarm web wings were a staple to Spider-Man's costume since his creation as designed by Steve Ditko and had yet to be shown in any of the previous films.
This film is set to release July 7th, 2017.
Before our 2 comic book reviews, Brokettes, we do have our Patreon shoutouts of the week.
This week they go to Christopher, who is at The Irish on Fire, and Bobby at Cuban Slim.
That's their Twitter handles. Be sure to follow them. All Brokettes should follow one another. And we do want to remind everyone that we are at $38 out of 50 towards goal number 3 on patreon.com/thereasonsimmbroke. Still at 23 reviews on iTunes. I think Papa Kelli has some words.
I do. So 23, cool. Thank you all for reviewing. But what happens when we get to 50, guys? What happens? I write each of you a comic book for free and mail it to you.
There's only a few weeks left.
Yeah.
To get these reviews. And now let me remind all of you that it takes 24 hours for the review to show up on iTunes. Let's get these comics to everyone.
Make up email addresses. Make up iTunes accounts. Get your friends. Just like sign in to your friend's thing and be like, here, just, I'll write it for you.
On their iPhone? Yeah. Just pull up the podcast thing and subscribe while you're there. And leave a review. It just takes 2 minutes. That's all you got to do. Anyone, I'm sure you know someone with an iPhone. Everyone knows someone with an iPhone. Reviews help new Brokettes find us, puts us up a little bit higher on the podcasting chart for DC Comics, Pokemon, and it goes a long way in helping out the show and the future of the show overall.
So thank you guys again for your reviews and your support. If you're listening and you say, I want to be a Patreon supporter too, you can go to patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke. For as little as $1 a month, that's 25 cents an episode, unless there's 5 Sundays in the month, and then that's a little bit less. You too can get your shout out every week. It helps us put out the show every week for you guys, and also helps us reach different goals to make the show better.
You also get early access. Early access to the podcast. You get your very own RSS feed link that you can put into your favorite podcatcher, your favorite podcast app, whatever it is you use. You get it early. You get the show early every single week, and you get to be heard on the podcast every single month.
But of course, guys, our podcast will always be free. The best thing you can do is interact with us on Twitter at PalpaKelly, at ReasonsI'mBroke, or leaving us a review on iTunes, which now gets you free things.
We also want to thank fandomfi.com for the help at the $5 decal tier.
Hey, this is Brock from Pokemon.
And James from Pokemon. And you're listening to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast.
Which is one of my favorites. Why? Because so many girls listen to it. Which is unlike me, because no girls listen to me.
I don't know what you mean. All the girls listen to me, especially Jessie, though she still has yet to help me capture Pikachu.
So guys, that does do it for our news this week. We have 2 comic book highlights and then a full spoiler review of Arrival.
We've got DC and Boom Studios for our reviews, kicking it off with Batman Annual number 1. The annuals are very iffy usually. It's either worth the buy or not worth the buy. Most readers end up passing on it as far as our subscribers. But this one in particular was written by Tom King, Scott Snyder, Ray Fox, Paul Dini, Scott Bryan Wilson and Steve Orlando, with art by David Finch, Declan Shalvey, Neil Adams, pausing on those big ones, Bilquis Evely, and Riley Rossmo.
Bilquis would be a great colorist name.
Just Bilquis by itself.
Bilquis.
And colors by, you're Bilquis. And colors by Gabe Eltaabe, Jordi Belair, Matt Lopez, and Ivan Plasencia.
So if you guys haven't guessed yet, this is a book made up of several different stories, all centered around the holidays, and of course, our favorite superhero, Batman.
Some of these stories you've read before. If you've been reading comics even for just a few years, you've read the story in which Batman has a silent night in Gotham where there's minimal crime and the villains aren't really out
things.
there. And it's always a bizarre, uneasy, quiet moment for Batman. We get that same old story in this one. However, the Paul Dini story, which is the highlight of the book for me, and that's the one that's actually drawn and colored by Neil Adams, has Paul Dini back on Harley Quinn.
Of course.
If you like Harley Quinn, this is true Harley Quinn. Written by the co-creator himself, Paul Dini, of Harley spending a winter day with the Batman in the Batmobile.
Very sweet story. We get to see, of course, them interacting, but you kind of get to see the impact that Harley has on people, where she's not really a villain to be feared anymore. She's a symbol of empowerment almost.
And it's because of her that Batman has an easier night. And this isn't the same old story. Paul Dini took that concept and he's like, okay, but that's the background. This is how this happened, which we don't see in the other ones. And it's all just a back and forth with Batman and Harley Quinn. Batman caught singing a Christmas song in the Batmobile. As soon as Harley stopped singing, she could hear Batman singing underneath his breath, which we know Batman's a good singer from Kevin Conroy's Justice League.
Blue?
So that was probably the best part of the book. We do get in another story, what seems to be the first appearance of a new villain named Stag. And they tease that as what's coming up in the series for Batman in 2017. So that was really interesting because DC Rebirth is introducing all new villains instead of what the New 52 did in kind of modernizing existing ones. So it's nice to see that, we're getting all new fresh material as well. But the other big one was the origin of Ace.
Yes, and this one was my favorite one. I really enjoyed this. As you, Brocat Snow, we named our dog Ace after Batman's dog. But it takes place, Batman finds this dog. He's dressed up as an ace. And he's killed 3 other dogs that look like the other suits of cards. And the idea is that the Joker put them there in a ditch and, starved them so that they would kill each other.
It all ends with a summary of what Alfred's gift is to Bruce Wayne, to the man that has everything, to the man that doesn't realize that Alfred is more valuable than even he believes. And that is all the months of training that he gave this deranged dog. He took a victim of the Joker and rehabilitated himself to subtleness, to full obedience, and to man's best friend again, which was difficult. And you see that with Alfred. And Batman, he doesn't notice it. He's just oblivious to it.
What Alfred gave him was a companion and somebody who would love Batman and stick by him and help defend him, even though Batman, of course, doesn't think he needs it, and in a way that Alfred probably can't for him. So, I mean, it was very sweet. It doesn't help that I have a little doggy named Ace, and I'm like, I love her too. She would lick my knife wounds.
So take that as you will. If you want to own the first appearance of a new villain, then sure, Batman Annual #1. Otherwise, if you're a big Paul Dini fan, pick it up for that. It doesn't add much as far as progressing the main story along. It is a one-shot, as most of these annuals are. And it is more pricey at $4.99 since you do get more pages and extra stories. I'd say pass on it if you don't want a first appearance and if you don't care about Paul Dini or Harley Quinn.
Our next book is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #9. This is written by Kyle Higgins and Steve Orlando, with art by Hindri Prasetya. Oh, and Corin Howell, and the colorist is Matt Herms and Jeremy Law.
As you can tell from the cover, we haven't reviewed Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in a little while, but I wanted to touch on this one. This is all the Rangers are Green Rangers. there's something that happened in issue 8 where they use Tommy's communicator to access their Power Rangers powers again. And as a result of that, they're all green. And it's really cool to look at.
Yeah.
You can see from the cover, they all look amazing in green. And I'm going to tweet to Kyle Higgins and be like, can they all just stay
Just keep
green,
them green.
please?
They're cool.
Because they look awesome. But the main thing about this is a speculator book.
Mm-hmm.
As you've seen many clickbait articles tell you that there's an all-new Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 9. It's not really an all-new Ranger. It's a new design to an existing Ranger, but it's also not something that is bound to stick. The big clue here, though, is if you want to own an all-new origin to Tommy, this is going to give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Higgins has already strongly hinted that he is not sticking to continuity to the Power Rangers show, and instead he's going to give us better written material to how Tommy becomes the White Ranger, for example. And I think that's awesome because if you watch the original show, it's, here you go, Rangers, a new gift for all of you. New suits. It's more like that.
Right.
Here they can take their time. There's more meaning. And I get it. I'm not making fun. I'm not knocking the show for it because they translated Japanese shows and filmed new material for it. And they're like, okay, this is it. So he can take his time. He can give us the deeper material and deeper origins. And you're going to get that. And it starts with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 9. It's still in print. Your local comic shop should still be able to order it for you. So even though it's probably sold out on its first week, you can probably still get a copy as well.
Overall, I've really been enjoying this book. Like you said, they're taking their time with it. They're explaining things and developing things, and you're getting to, I think, see a pretty good balance of all the Rangers for the most part. I mean, throughout the series. One book will focus more heavily on the other. But you would see that in a typical TV show. So I think it's still very nostalgic for me reading it, but it still catches it up to a pace where I'm still enjoying it even when I'm an adult.
So there you go, listeners. Hopefully the reviews helped you decide on whether or not you want to pick up these 2 highlights of the week. If you don't want the Arrival film spoiled for you, thank you so much for joining us this week. We do appreciate you tuning in every single week. So far, the downloads for this month are putting us on pace to having our best month in 2016, which is huge because the last couple of months weren't the strongest, and we're having that spike again. So awesome. We love doing the show. We love bringing it to you, and hopefully there's something every week that you kind of take away and can, tell your friends about or enjoy yourself, and maybe you learn something every single week. So thank you again for joining us. If you don't want the Arrival spoiled, we'll see you next week.
But if you do want the Arrival spoiled, here we go.
This is the day they arrived.
The object touched down 40 minutes ago.
Mama, what's going to happen?
I don't know.
Dr. Banks, you're at the top of everyone's list when it comes to translations. You hear any words?
Is that?
Yes.
So I only have one word for this film, and that was beautiful.
Beautiful. This is the film that stars Amy Adams. You may have seen trailers for it on television already. Jeremy Renner is the supporting actor in it. You have Forrest Whitaker as well. And it's directed by Denis Villeneuve, who has previously done Prisoners. Awesome game. He also directed Sicario. Just follow the man. Everywhere he goes, follow the movie, because it's going to be strong. The basic premise of Arrival is, as it sounds, aliens show up on Earth. There are 12 different ships that show up in different parts of the world, and humans try to figure out why they're here. This isn't an invasion. This is more than that. And I feel that the marketing maybe gave you a different story, because the audience that was with us, they came to see Independence Day. They didn't come to see Arrival. So this is more of a deeper sci-fi, psychological movie and journey for the main character played by Amy Adams.
The movie opens with a tearjerker. I was already crying 5 minutes. It pulled an up on me. But it opens with Amy Adams, and she's kind of having a voiceover talking to her daughter. And you get to see her with her brand new baby and her little girl growing up and them having fun. And then ultimately her daughter at a very young age passing away. And that's where the movie starts. And I was done then. Already in tears, but then it cuts almost straight into the action right before, where you see her. She's a language teacher at a college.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I'd call it action, but the progressing story. This is definitely not an action movie. Main message of the movie and the main journey or growth that the character takes is communication with humans, with these aliens, the hyptopods, I think is what they ended up calling them, of everyone understanding one another. And it's an ultimate journey of teamwork with everyone on Earth. It's very optimistic on the outcome, but also it all centers around the theory that the way you learn language is the way it alters your perception of the world. If humans didn't speak or communicate through sound or through sight with our writings, that we'd be, if that was tweaked even a bit, we'd perceive the world a little bit differently. Right. And with aliens, they're obviously they're not going to communicate like we are. They're not going to be talking and using tongues and language, maybe not even words, maybe not even sentences, maybe images, who knows? So that's kind of the theory that it works on. When we are exposed to an all new form of communication and we come to even a basic understanding of it, our world begins to alter and change itself. And through that, it's considered a new technology or maybe even a new weapon. But it's all about changing your perception of everything around you. And that's where, this is why they gave us that journey at the beginning, that tearjerker, because the main reveal when you get to the end, and that's, I know we called it a spoiler review, but I don't want to spoil that because that's what makes the movie. Right. Is what, to fucking repeat myself, it makes the fucking movie.
It really does.
Is the huge payoff.
We always like to support our favorite movies and of course purchase them, but this is a movie I feel, while it was still really good and I would enjoy it the second time, you wouldn't enjoy it as much the second time as you did the first, because you're on a journey with her and slowly discovering these things. And when you get to the end, it's like, oh, and then it's even more horrible.
And it's not like a twist or anything like that. You should have been paying attention. No, it's not one of those. It's all the information coming to you with the character. Right. And because you're attached, they did a good job in attaching, making you care about Amy Adams and her relationship with her child, that when it all gets to you again, and this is the ending, this is the high point of the movie, and you get all of that, and then it ends, it's incredibly heavy and beautiful. It's an experience. It really is, to go through what they did in Arrival.
To arrive at the end of it?
To arrive at the fucking end of it. It's my favorite movie this year.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely mine
more
too.
More than BVS, more than... This is just a good film.
Yeah, it really is. I think for the most part, it had something... If you enjoy films for being films, not for being action, not just, for fun.
Not just entertainment.
Right. But if you enjoy to watch something and experience something and feel with the characters, the highs and the lows and the excitement because of discovery... Then,
the symbolism, tons of symbolism.
Right. Then this is something that you would really enjoy. The thing that I liked about it too is it was sci-fi, but it was a smart sci-fi. So the things that she was doing, discovering their language, how to write, what they were saying, to figure all those things out, those are things that people do every day, that people could do, potentially. And those are the kind of sci-fi movies, that I like, where it's real people doing real things. Granted, extraterrestrials are involved, but it's things that could potentially happen, not just I have this laser beam and it works.
And what's craziest about it is the plot. I mean, if you look at it, basically it's about aliens arriving to Earth and communicating with them, but it's so much, you find out that it's all about Amy Adams and the ultimate revelation and decision that she makes that makes the whole point of the journey in the movie. So I mean, we can't recommend it more. It's right. If you could only see one movie this year, and I know we are huge on DC Comics and Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, watch Arrival. You won't regret it if you. I don't know if I may have tweeted it or not. I can't remember, but if you like your plots more complex than the superhero movies or Transformers, if you're looking for something more, this is going to feed you that. This is going to scratch that itch that you have. It's all there. Visuals are beautiful. The acting is excellent. The symbolism through the camera work, through the directing, there's plenty to digest after you leave the film. Arrival.
Let me just jump on my soapbox for a hot second, though, and say, if you can't stay quiet during a movie, do not go to the theater with other people.
Yeah, that was the downside to the way they marketed this.
So there was a guy to my left who just, every 5 seconds, behind you!
Oh, that's a new symbol.
Yes, it is.
No, I think it's the same one, but okay.
Oh, look out. Look out. Look out. It's not a suspense, sir. Nothing bad is going to happen.
Aliens aren't going to eat anyone.
No. But he had a comment for everything. Everything was, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Leave. So that's my soapbox. If you can't stay quiet, don't go to a movie.
It's a good way to end it. Right there. So we hope you enjoyed the review for Arrival. We hope you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It is awesome.
If you see it, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke, at Kelli.
So that will do it for our show for episode number 220 today, Brokettes. Thank you for joining us. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to share that happened this week, or your comments on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, the Spider-Man Homecoming teaser trailer, let us know, as you mentioned, on Twitter at Kelli, at ReasonsI'mBroke, Facebook.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke. But as always, head on over to TheReasonsI'mBroke.com for a link to everywhere you can find us, including a player for the podcast itself. Remember, we will get a full website redesign as soon as we hit goal number 3 on Patreon.com/TheReasonsI'mBroke.
Thank you all once again. I'm Kelli.
I'm Daniel.
We'll see you next week.